Now let's take a look at some of those system exception classes that you have available in C# that you can include. Now, in a different video that was entitled Catching an Exception, I showed you how you could use these exception classes to grab message properties, and there are some other things that you can grab so that you can show error messages to users, or better yet, you can store them into a database or email them to yourself. You can do all kind of things. But I just want to take you through a list of just a few. There's a lot more you can dig into documentation. But some of the exception classes you may want to take a look at, and when you put catch in parentheses, you would put, arithmetic exception, EX. And what this is going to do is any exceptions that are thrown during any arithmetic, or depending on what part of the world you're from, arithmetic operations, are going to be caught by this particular exception class. Now, what I didn't show you was, and you can go out and look at some examples, I can put multiple catch statements and just keep catching the different ones. So I can put, I could do a try catch, and then my first catch could be arithmetic or arithmetic exception. And note that this includes divide by zero and overflow. And we'll talk about divide by zero in just a few minutes. An array type mismatch exception. This is when we are trying to store something into an array and we get an error back because the type of data that we're trying to put into the array doesn't match the type of the array. We're trying to put an integer into a string array or something like that. And so that's going to be a problem, and it will throw that particular error. Well, what we could have is we could have our try statement and then have catch arithmetic expression, right? EX. And then if it's an arithmetic expression, this will catch it, and we can put a message box showing that error. If it's an array type mismatch, we'll put another catch, exception EXA, and grab our array type. And what we're going to do here is, based on the exception that comes in, we're going to show different error messages. But for now, I just want to show you these, and you'll see them all over the place when you look at examples out there on the internet. Divide by zero. Anytime somebody tries to divide by zero, not somebody, but your program in particular, anytime you get confused and you try to divide by zero, it will throw the divide by zero exception. So the next error exception class that's out there that we can use is the index out of range exception, and this gets thrown when there's an attempt to index an array via an index that's less than zero or outside the bounds of array. All this means is you've got 4 items in an array, and you're trying to read or write to the 6th item, and the array is not designed to handle that many. Okay, so you'll get an index out of range exception. Invalid cast exception. This gets thrown when there's an explicit conversion from a base type or an interface to a derived type. This fails at runtime, so you've got basically just, you're trying to cast, and it causes problems. Out of memory exception. This is one that always gets your attention. You're trying to create a new object with the new keyword, and it's, for whatever reason, reporting to you that it doesn't have enough memory. You've got some problem that you need to go chase down. And then the last one we'll talk about here is overflow exception. And this is when one of your operations causes an overflow to happen in one of your data types. And so these are already out there. Now, let me add to this. You can build your own exception classes. It's an advanced topic. You can go out and look, you can Google it, you can look on Microsoft's website. There's a number of excellent third-party books out there in the bookstores that will help you through this process of creating your own exception classes, but you can do that and customize your exceptions and your error messages to your individual users or to the individual errors that happen. And it makes your program look and feel a lot more user-friendly to the users. When every error that they make or every error that occurs, they're explicitly told what they can do to fix that or correct that condition. Okay, fix being a Southern technical term. So anyway, that's kind of the most common system exception classes. Some people might object to some of those being common or not, but just wanted for those to kind of be forefront in your mind. And this may be a little out of order, but now that you've seen this particular video, you might want to go back again and watch Catching an Exception, and you'll see how you could use these to do some pretty cool stuff.